Hey guys, my name's Andrew, welcome to Talk Sleep Gaming, and in today's video, we're going to be going over my standard tier list for Magic the Gathering. I'm going to be honest with you guys, this is not a very exciting tier list because you all know that there is a certain deck that is going to be at the top of the format and is basically ruling over the entire standard format. I'm going to be trying to be as positive as I can, especially in these dark times when it comes to Magic the Gathering with the whole Walking Dead controversy and all that. But we're going to try and stay positive and see what we can try and make the most out of it. Now, I'm not going to include every single deck. I'm only going to consider the ones that are important, that you're going to see, and the ones that I want to take note of when it comes to the tier list. So, yeah, let's go ahead and get into it. And I just want to remind everybody that today's sponsor is going to be manatraders.com. So if you guys can check that out at the end of the video. But without wasting any more time, let's go ahead and get right into the video. Alright, so we are in the tier list, and I'm just going to let you guys know, in case you don't already see a glaring difference from my other tier list, that there's only 3 tiers. Right now, these are the only tiers that really matter. There are others that could be in, considered tier 3 or everything else, but they're not important. At least in the realm of conversation when it comes to the meta. So let's go ahead and start off with the very clear tier 0 deck. That is going to be Omnath. There's 4 color versions. I'm sure there's just a teamer version, but it's 4 color Omnath. The thing is that even though Uro was banned, it basically didn't do anything, which you can watch my video if you want to see why. But yeah, the Omnath deck is a tier 0 deck. For those who don't know what tier 0 means that the only deck that it loses to is a version of itself. And that's what I honestly believe, that most of the meta, what we're going to see moving forward, is going to be mirrors. Lots and lots of mirrors, lots of versions of Omnath. Now, I'm not saying 4 colors is the best version going here on, but I believe that the Omnath deck is the best by far. So I definitely want everyone to make sure that you understand, when you make a deck and you're trying to play ranked on Arena or you're trying to play Magic Online, you have to play knowing the Omnath playstyle, so and the matchup itself and how it affects your deck. Omnath, I don't really need to explain it too much, but for those who are somehow unaware, Omnath is a 4 color ramp style of mid-range-ish almost deck where you're trying to get to Omnath as quickly as possible using stuff like Lotus Cobra, and then follow that up with landfall triggers by playing stuff like Fatal Passage into another land and stuff like that. And yeah, you try to get as many triggers as you can off of Omnath on your turns. And just completely blow out the opponent with the amount of advantage that you can get from Omnath. It's very similar to kind of the other mana doublers that we've dealt with and that have been banned in the past. Fires of Invention is a good example. Wilderness Reclamation, another example of a mana doubler that just breaks the game by allowing you to cast things at a rate that no other deck can do. So the amount of advantage you have can't be matched by almost anything. But I think that unlike those, this is even worse, and I'll tell you why. Wizards is very reluctant to ban out their face card, and Omnath is their face card of this set. The Planeswalkers are very underpowered, which I'm very happy. At least it's not a Planeswalker, but this card is just, it's so powerful, but also very important for their sales. So they're not going to ban a card, especially after they've already banned one, which was Uro, which we're going to talk about later. But also, they're not going to ban the card that's going to make the money, and a lot of people don't even have in paper yet. So this is going to be what the meta is going to be looking like. And honestly, I could wrap it up with that, but we need to talk about the ways we can fight the Omnath deck. I do believe that if you are playing Magic and you're playing Standard and you're playing the meta, play Omnath. Honestly, it's not even worth trying to counter it. But if you do, let's talk about what you have as options. So, first of all, you do have mono red, and I believe that is the best way to fight against it. Being faster than Omnath. It's very difficult, and it does really rely on you being on the play, but Ambercleave is still a card. You still have those very fast, very powerful, mono red cards that can just get in there really quick under the ramp deck and kill them quickly. That, in my opinion, is the best way to do it moving forward, and that is, in my opinion, what is going to be kind of the most, I guess you would say the most clear strategy that's going to be best at beating Omnath, which is by being faster than it, or doing a combo or a synergy that stops them from what they're doing quicker than they can get to their end game, which is those triggers on Omnath. So, what else can we do? The only other real thing that I can think of is the kind of Dimir control strategy. Now, rogues and this kind of like Dimir control deck that I've seen pop up, it seems like the best iteration of this style by milling them to death. Now with Uragon, these decks get a lot better, but I do not think that they are the best way to fight it. I think mono red is much better, but let me be clear, it is a valid way of doing it. People were trying rogues beforehand and having success, but let me be clear about this too. That success was met with a lot of failure too, with Omnath completely ruining everyone, and it's not just because it was Uro. A lot of these decks were only playing one Uro because of the mirror, and they were still beating these Dimir rogue decks. So honestly, like I said, mono red aggro, some kind of fast aggro strategy is the best way to go against it. So that's what I think. At the very least, when you're talking about ranked, especially, mono red is going to be the best way. Now, here are the other decks. This is going to be Teamer Adventures. I'm really low on this deck, though it's really powerful, and I'm sure someone's going to make a better version of it now that the Sultai deck is gone, which honestly was a good matchup against it. I just don't see it being either fast enough to justify playing it, or going over the top against Omnath unless you have the most insane hand like ever. Honestly, it's in tier 2 along with some of these other decks, but that's my opinion on it. Same thing for mono green aggro. Mono green and Gruul could be here as well. I do like the deck, but if I'm going to be in an aggro strategy, I'm just going to play mono red. I want to play Embercleave. I want to be fast. Now you can play Embercleave in the Gruul version, but really just play mono red. Play your champions, be fast, kill them before they even can like stomp those Lotus Cobras. Get down under them before they can set up their board and then beat you by going over the top. So that's what I think we should do. And then there is one other option, and that is control. Now, personally, I am a control player. I love control. It is my favorite archetype, and I have seen lists that I think could, at the very least, compete if you really are stretching and trying to play something else other than these decks. But I think control has a bad matchup against mill, because if they mill over your planeswalkers, it's so hard to win. Giving these ramp decks enough time to set up is just not good unless you have an SS scatter like in your opening hand, which good luck with that. But also being on the draw with a lot of these ramp decks, when like I've said, mono red is the best way to play Omnath, and people are going to catch on to that. And playing a control deck in this environment with all this mono red and a ramp deck, I don't think that's where you want to be. Maybe people can pull it off, but I wouldn't even try it. I would just play Omnath, honestly. So like I said, it's not a very exciting tier list, but that is a tier list. That is definitively what is the best in the format right now. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching the video. I really do appreciate it if you could like, subscribe, and check out the Mana Traders ad at the end of the video. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. And yeah, I'll see you next time. Today's sponsor is going to be ManaTraders.com, the best way to rent cards online. ManaTraders.com is the service that I use and is pretty much the only way I'm able to play Magic online at all. What Mana Traders has allowed me and others to do is to rent all these cards that we need to stay up with the metas without breaking the bank. And the way we do that is through different subscription plans. So, for example, if you spend $9.99 a month, what you can do is you can rent up to $100 worth of cards in ticks for Magic Online whenever you want. What's really exciting about it is that if a card gets banned, which lately it's been happening a lot, what you can do is you can return the deck, find a new deck to play, and then rent that one. And what's also really cool is every month, Mana Traders has a $15,000 tournament that they host for all of their subscribers, which is really exciting because not only do you have leagues that you can use the decks for, but you also have this huge prize pool in this really amazing tournament that you can also use your skills and hone your skills and test yourself to see how high that you can get and maybe even win that grand prize. So yeah, it's a service that I use all the time and I'm really excited to share it with everybody. So yeah, definitely check out manatraders.com and remember to use TLG33. That's TLG33, which is my code, to get 20% off of whatever subscription level you get. Not only does that save you money, but it helps out the channel immensely. So thank you so much for watching the video, and yeah, thank you to manatraders.com.